John, Jesus heals a man born blind. The Pharisees debate the miracle's validity because it happened on the Sabbath. The healed blind man maintains his story and is even a bit annoyed that the Pharisees keep asking him about it and then kicking him out. This is another long but very action-packed gospel in that Jesus is really starting to make waves by his miracle working. Welcome back, everyone. We are looking back at this past week's Sunday readings and looking ahead to next Sunday's readings. We know that most people attending Mass don't look ahead to the readings they'll be hearing. So I hope you'll find our little show fun and useful, especially if you're looking to connect more to the Bible readings during Mass. My name is Vincent and my buddy's name is Roy. We've been friends since childhood and we both volunteer at different churches as lectors, or the guys who read at Mass. We'll offer our thoughts on the readings as well as share some fun stories about volunteering at church and everyday life. Okay, let's get started. All right, another week, the fourth week of Lent. What's up with you this past week?
Well, we went to our first St. Justin's corned beef dinner on Saturday. The food was very delicious and generous. They also had this, it was kind of cool because it had so many things I didn't realize was there. They had this raffle that it's like you buy however many tickets you want, and then you could place as many tickets, like all of your tickets or just one of your tickets, and spread it out in front of all the 20 plus gift baskets that was laid out on the tables. Unfortunately, we didn't win, but at least we were like playing for something that we like instead of just like, oh yay, we won some random gift. But they also had entertainment. They had this live band. At the end, they brought in the Academy of Irish Dance. It was just basically like an amateur river dance. Yeah, it was cool. But on Sunday, we tried to do this family night for Lent. If you remember that we learned how to make fresh pasta when we were at Rome, we mixed whatever we learned from there with my Filipino spaghetti recipe.
You have to, of course.
Yeah. So Lorraine made like the fresh pasta. She smashed the tomatoes for the sauce, where I sauteed the ground beef. Then I added the tomato sauce with the oregano and basil to kind of keep it Italian. But then to fuse it, I added the Filipino ingredients, which is the hot dog,
yes,
the banana ketchup,
yes,
the Heinz ketchup,
yes,
and the cubes of easy melt cheese. Oh, it was amazing.
Oh man. You can stop now. Filipino spaghetti is the bomb, dude. People are like, what is this? It's a little bit sweet. Like, you love it. Just eat it all. You know you love it. Don't even be all skeptical. Just eat it, try it. You're like, oh my gosh, where has this been all my life? Well, I'm really sorry we weren't able to make it this time to the St. Pat's corned beef dinner. Next year for sure. So last week, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I'm a sponsor for one of my former students' confirmation. He's getting confirmed this spring. So last week there was just like a meeting for parents and sponsors of the confirmation students, you know, like what's our responsibilities, how we should be living examples of the faith to the kids and things like that, connecting with the kids and the parents as well, but also other things that we should know, like the dress code for Mass for both us and the students. You'd be surprised like how many parents and students and confirmation sponsors just don't know how to dress appropriately for Mass, right? You know, make sure the guys don't pull up in like some throwback Spreewell jersey and gold chains and the
Spreewell. You had to bring up Spreewell.
I had to bring up Spreewell. I had this on, and the ladies don't look all, you know what I'm saying, like hooched up for like they're going out to the club. And it's funny because the sister Isabel is the one giving these announcements and everything. So she has these diagrams of like, this is appropriate, this isn't appropriate. Like the jeans, the ripped jeans, the t-shirts, nothing like that. Like, this is only the second time I've been asked to be a confirmation sponsor. The first time was in high school for my classmate. So Pat, if you're listening, go to Mass, go to church. Call me, I'll fly down there, we can go to Mass together. Also, last week I forgot to mention that I played tennis with your brother too, which was good. I haven't played in months. I've just felt great running out there. Okay, let's look ahead to this week's readings, the fourth Sunday of Lent. What do we got?
All right, in the first reading from 1 Samuel, the Lord sends Samuel to Bethlehem to anoint the new king from among Jesse's sons. The older sons are all impressive based on their appearance, but instead, God chooses the youngest son, whom we all know becomes King David. Samuel anoints the young shepherd boy, David, and the Spirit of the Lord rests upon him from that day forward. The responsorial is arguably the most famous psalm, Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, there is nothing I shall want.
All right, from that into the second reading from Ephesians, St. Paul calls us to leave our past darkness and live as children of light, reflecting goodness, righteousness, and truth. He calls us also to expose our sins by exposing them to the light. Finally, he tells us to awake from our sleep, arise from our deadness, and Christ will give us light. And finally, in the Gospel from John, Jesus heals a man born blind. After he does this, the Pharisees debate the miracle's validity because it happened on the Sabbath. The healed blind man maintains his story and is even a bit annoyed that the Pharisees keep asking him about it and then kicking him out when they don't like his answer. Jesus and the man meet again toward the end of the reading, and the man worships Jesus as Lord. This is another long but very action-packed gospel in that Jesus is really starting to make waves by his miracle working. So that's our gospel for this week. Okay, how would you read this? Roy, what do we have?
All right, so in the first reading is 1 Samuel chapter 16. So for context, this is a major plot point for the whole story of David. Not only is this God choosing David to be the new king, but this is when the current King Saul is still king. There is also the turning upside down of conventional earthly values, where Saul and even David's brother Eliab looked very kingly from the outside. But God chooses David because of what's on the inside, not visibly seen, but based on his heart. So in the margin notes from the lector guide, right before we start, this reading has a fairy tale-like quality, with kingship coming from a family of sons. A storytelling voice is appropriate. Begin the reading with the sense of a mysterious journey. Before "but the Lord said to Samuel," you want to emphasize the contrast between God's sight and human sight. This difference is the central message for the reading, so take your time. Before Jesse replied, you might introduce a tone of doubt in Jesse's voice. Who could possibly be interested in the youngest? A mere shepherd? And finally, at the end, before "then Samuel," read this powerful concluding sentence with strength. Focus on the results of Samuel's anointing of David.
Okay, fairy tale-like journey, powerful with strength and doubt, and Jesse's voice. Okay, a reading from the first book of Samuel. The Lord said to Samuel, "Fill your horn with oil and be on your way. I am sending you to Jesse of Bethlehem, for I have chosen my king from among his sons." As Jesse and his sons came to the sacrifice, Samuel looked at Eliab and thought, "Surely the Lord's anointed is here before him." But the Lord said to Samuel, "Do not judge from his appearance or from his lofty stature, because I have rejected him. Not as man sees does God see, because man sees the appearance, but the Lord looks into the heart." In the same way, Jesse presented 7 sons before Samuel. But Samuel said to Jesse, "The Lord has not chosen any of these." Then Samuel asked Jesse, "Are these all the sons you have?" Jesse replied, "There is still the youngest who is tending the sheep." Samuel said to Jesse, "Send for him. We will not begin the sacrificial banquet until he arrives." Jesse sent and had the young man brought to them. He was ruddy and youth, handsome to behold, and making a splendid appearance. The Lord said, "There, anoint him, for this is the one." Then Samuel, with the horn of oil in hand, anointed David in the presence of his brothers. And from that day on, the Spirit of the Lord rushed upon David. The word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
In the second reading, for context, St. Paul here tells us to walk worthily by abandoning our old sinful behaviors and move forward to our new life in light. A couple verses before this, actually, he says, "Let no one deceive you with empty arguments," which I really like because so often the devil runs circles around us with slick logic and half-truths, which veer us off of God's path way too easily. So in the margin notes here from the Lector Guide book, at the beginning, before brothers and sisters, don't shy away from this powerful statement, which is, those who were darkness are now light. Not only were you in darkness, but you were darkness. Before, for light produces every kind of goodness, emphasize the words goodness, righteousness, and truth. A little further down, before, for everything that becomes visible as light, pay special attention to the phrase is light. And finally, at the end, before the last quotation, the climax of this reading is full of hope, life, and light. Proclaim it with joy.
Joy. A reading from the letter of St. Paul to the Ephesians. Brothers and sisters, you were once darkness, but now you are light in the Lord. Live as children of light, for light produces every kind of goodness, righteousness, and truth. Try to learn what is pleasing to the Lord. Take no part in the fruitless works of darkness, rather expose them, for it is shameful even to mention the things done by them in secret. But everything exposed by the light becomes visible, for everything that becomes visible is light. Therefore it says, "Awake, O sleeper, and arise from the dead, and Christ will give you light." The word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God. Very joyous.
All right, so let's look back. What was your reflections for last Sunday?
So last Sunday, because of some scheduling and other circumstances, we ended up going again to the Spanish Mass on Sunday evenings. Again, gleaned from the homily was that we want closeness to God, not just our mind in prayer, not just our body by going to Mass, but our souls as well. And our soul thirsts for God. Alma, I think, is the Spanish word for soul. So that was from our Sunday homily. But a note that I texted you last week was something I heard in the homily of one of the daily masses I dropped into, and that was interior life. Like as we're going through Lent, changing our behaviors, changing all these outward things, very much in keeping of, God looking into our hearts and not just the appearance. This interior life is also what we want to change. So that way, not only the outward things that we do change our inside, but hopefully once it changes our inside, that inside can again be more fruitful to more things outwardly. Because we can kind of go through, you and I are included, right? We go to Mass, we try to keep a faithful life. That doesn't mean we don't have interior struggles. We have to work on that interior life. I thought that was a really good point.
I think it's true because on the previous readings, where it said that, like, for example, committing adultery, like it starts with, what's in your mind. It's not like you committed adultery and then it's over. No, you already committed adultery when you already had lust in your mind for her.
Yeah.
So that's what it reminded me of.
Yeah. And the anger inside, even if you didn't murder someone, right?
Yes.
All right. So what was your reflection from the homily last week?
For my reflection last week, the theme that I noticed was that if we cut ourselves off from the source of God's Spirit by not trusting Him, then our hearts dry up and get hardened. To save us, He sacrifices Himself and strikes His own heart with His unfathomable fount of blood and water that can gush forth for our souls and soften our parched desert-like hearts. This is God's will, and as long as we open our hearts to this fountain of divine mercy, our souls will never go thirsty. Can you tell that I have been praying the Divine Mercy prayer? As you know, that we're supposed to do the rosary on some nights, but we had a few late nights and we decided to just pray the Divine Mercy instead. Us being late, it was divine intervention that we had to pray this Divine Mercy.
Oh my gosh. We need Divine Mercy from these dad jokes.
It's gushing forth, man. It's gushing forth.
Nice. Okay, how was it? I hope you got some positive takeaways from this. Leave your thoughts below in the comments, and don't just like and subscribe, but also click that share button and share this with your family and friends as well. Take care and God bless.
You said like Jesse.
Yeah.
And there I was like, that song, Jesse's Girl.
Oh, the Jesse's Girl. Jesse's Sons. Dun, 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 dun.